I guarantee that when you start using these hacks, everything changes. Your gut will finally start shrinking, your clothes will fit better, and shopping won't be such a nightmare anymore. You'll move easier, you'll feel better, and you'll finally start catching your reflection in the mirror, and you'll actually feel proud about it. These aren't just random tips. These are 4 powerful hacks that's going to accelerate your fat loss starting today. Okay, so first we want to turn your walks into a fat burning machine. You already weigh a little bit more, and so you're going to be burning more calories than the average person because it's harder to walk. But I want you to start adding some weight to your back. This could be something in a drawstring backpack. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could literally just be some water bottles at first, but something to increase the weight on your back during your walks. This is called rucking, and it's been shown to increase calorie burn by 2 to 3 times. Now, maybe with a few water bottles, that's not going to happen. But as you build up your ability to carry more weight, it can increase your calorie burn by 2 to 3 times what is normal during a walk. And so you're going to start scorching calories. Imagine 2 people doing the exact same 30-minute walk. 30 minutes would be quite a long time for what I'm about to say, but imagine that one of them is carrying their groceries all the way from the grocery store, all the way home. The other one follows them home right next to them without carrying the groceries. Which one's going to burn more calories? Obviously, the person carrying the groceries. They're working immensely harder. After a while, the shoulders start to get tired. Their legs might start to get tired. Their lungs are working heavier. If one's walking uphill and the other's walking flat, the intensity of your walk is what it's all about. And rucking is a really comfortable, low impact way of being able to increase your calorie burn. That's what it's all about. Rucking is just walking, but it's being done smarter, And as you're walking and you're burning more calories through rucking and you're increasing fat loss without any of the extra effort, in terms of like the extra work or the extra load on your body, of course there's extra work, but there's not extra time that's put into it. And you could always do more time. You could build up your time as well. And we're going to talk about a lot of these factors in this video, but you can increase your calorie burn during those same 30 minutes or whatever that you always walk. If you're not used to walking, a lot of steps, then you might just consider, if you are carrying a lot of extra weight, it's okay just to treat your body as the rucking mechanism. I don't want you to overdo it at first and your knees, your joints and everything to start to completely reject movement. That's not going to help to I'm going to start walking, I go from 2,000 steps a day to 8,000 steps a day, and I'm going to add weight. So maybe at first you increase your steps a little bit, and then you start slowly adding weight. And I'm telling you, just a few water bottles, get 5 water bottles, put them in a little backpack. You don't need special equipment for this. Just start with weight on your back. Even though rucking torches calories, it won't matter if you're losing muscle. I mean, you gotta keep your muscle mass. That's so key. So the secret weapon most people don't realize, if you have a lot of weight to lose, you already have more muscle than average anyway. You've been carrying around that weight. You have more muscle than the average person, believe it or not. That muscle is what keeps your metabolism burning hot. So here's how we make sure you don't lose it. So I think this is the most underrated fat loss hack, not out of this list necessarily, but just in general. I don't think people talk about it enough. And it's that by keeping your muscle mass, your metabolism is high throughout the rest of the day. It's while you're sleeping, you're literally burning more calories all the time. And that adds up so much quicker than any exercise, any rucking could ever give you. Plus, if we don't keep your muscle, then by the end of this journey, let's hypothetically say you lose 100 pounds. You're going to look skinny fat, and you're probably going to have even more weight to lose because a good portion of that weight was your muscles. This is something that is just absolutely needed. So the solution to this is protein. Protein keeps you full. It spares muscle mass. It helps you eat less calories. It is a win-win-win, and it's really going to accelerate your fat loss. So why is protein like a cheat code for fat loss? You can think of carbs and fat, specifically carbs, as we can use a campfire analogy. So the carbs are like kindling. It catches really fast, it burns really fast, and then it's done. That's kind of like, eating pastas, rice, breads, things like that. I'm not saying those things are necessarily bad. I'm just saying it's faster energy that doesn't tend to burn calories. It doesn't spare your muscle and burn calories throughout the rest of the day. Whereas the protein helps you spare muscle, but it also has a thermic effect of food, TEF, if you want to look into that, where it takes energy to actually digest the protein. And so you are burning calories, not just by eating the protein, free calorie burn, but it keeps your muscle and helps you burn calories more the rest of the day as well. To go to that analogy with the campfire, it's like a log, like a big, thick log that burns for hours and hours and hours. You never have to change out the log. That is protein equivalent with a campfire. Silly analogy, I guess. I mentioned this, briefly, but I want to make sure to hit it, that protein helps you stay full and helps you stay on track with your diet. It's just more filling. Imagine eating the two extremes here. Imagine eating a chicken breast versus a bowl of rice. The bowl of rice and the chicken breast are probably going to have the same calories. The bowl of rice is not going to keep you full nearly as long. Chicken breast literally is going to take longer to eat. It's going to take longer to digest. It stays in your stomach longer, which makes you feel full longer, spares your muscle mass. I know that I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I just want you to understand how big of a deal it is that your protein is right. So aim for about 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight. If you want to be 200 pounds, start there for 200 grams of protein. If you want to be 150 pounds, then I would at least start there. Now, if you have a lot of weight to lose, it wouldn't hurt to have some, because you're going to need extra calories because you're scorching so many calories just with the weight that you're carrying around, especially if you add the rucking in and everything. So I might go above your ideal weight. Let's say you're 400 pounds and you want to be down to 200 pounds. I would aim for at least 200 grams of protein. I wouldn't mind if a person went up to like 220. Now, if you're thinking, there is no way I can get this much protein, Aaron, I mean, that is insane. Don't worry, I got you. My cookbook is totally free. It is packed with shockingly high protein. I still kind of shock myself whenever I'm looking at my recipes. It'll be 53 grams of protein in a bowl of pasta. I'm not exaggerating. Now, the way I do that is just through really lean meats and fat-free dairy. One of the recipes is a protein mac and cheese. And the cheese sauce I don't know why I'm putting in parentheses, it is cheese sauce. The cheese sauce is made out of extremely low fat or fat-free dairy. And so the cheese and the chicken adds to the protein. And that's why the protein is shockingly high. And it's pasta. I mean, that's crazy. But there's tricks to it and everything. So anyways, my cookbook is totally free. I should have mentioned that at the very beginning. Link in the pinned comment or in the description. You can get that totally free. You go add my mailing list. You can always unsubscribe if you want. And you get that recipe book for free. A little bonus hack here, this isn't one of the 4, but it is to use the calorie-free crutches that you have access to. If you're feeling snacky, try to outsmart your cravings. Don't try to power through them and white knuckle through them. So, we got here diet soda, flavored water, gum, sugar-free Jell-O. Anything that helps you stay on track. Waiting 10 minutes before consuming a snack and then forcing yourself to drink, a glass of flavored water and chew a piece of gum. By the time that 10 minutes is over, you probably won't have that craving, at least not in the capacity you had it before, and it'll be much easier to resist it. I don't really think this is the time to stress about clean eating. I understand people get all upset about diet soda and everything. I think it is a superpower to be able to lean on these 0-calorie crutches to be able to make yourself healthy, far healthier in a different way by losing a bunch of weight. And then you can worry about the cleanliness of diet soda later, okay? So lean on these things in order to reach your goals. I got you, and this is something that I use for all my clients, whether, like I said, it's gum or flavored water, Jell-O, doesn't matter. But without controlling your hunger, even a high-protein diet won't save you from falling off the wagon. That's why the next hack changes everything. So I call this my hunger override system. You're going to outsmart your appetite without willpower. And that's the key, is that the willpower that you go into a diet with, that will fade. And so we have to have systems. We have to have plans. Whenever I feel like snacking or whenever I feel like cheating on my diet, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat more protein. I'm going to whatever. All these hacks coming together, this is really going to help you. And so we got to be smarter about this. We cannot depend on willpower and motivation. And this is the hack that is really going to help you. Hunger isn't just about needing food. It's often about bad habits, boredom, poor sleep, alcohol consumption, things like that. I don't specifically talk about alcohol here, but things that alter your ability to make good decisions. Instead of fighting hunger and trying to work through that, use these 4 things that are in this hunger override system to overcome it. So hunger is kind of like a sneaky salesman. They knock on the door, and if you answer right away and you start talking to them, they oftentimes, even if you don't end up buying from them, they oftentimes trap you in this conversation, and you're teetering on, just telling them yes in order to get them to leave or whatever. Sometimes they get you to buy, have you ever been almost like tricked by a salesman where, whether it's a car or something, then you have buyer's remorse because you're like, man, they just really played on my emotions. That's kind of like hunger. If you ignore them long enough at the door, they eventually just leave. And so one of the hacks, and I brought this up a little bit earlier, is to give it 10 minutes. You can have that snack that you're craving in 10 minutes. You have to set a 10-minute timer. Cravings kind of work like that salesman. They feel urgent in the moment, but if you give it time, the power of it kind of dissipates. The second trick is going to be to use a totally natural, been here forever, and you probably already use it, appetite suppressant, and that is caffeine. Have you ever noticed that in the morning you might wake up hungry, you have your first cup of coffee, and you forget to eat until lunch? Caffeine is a pretty powerful appetite suppressant. So using it in those moments where you feel like snacking, if it's too close to bedtime, that'll affect your sleep, so don't do that. And I know that snacking tends to be, worse in the evenings. But definitely in the middle of the day, you can use this as a hack to kind of get through those cravings. Now, if that craving continues, let's say you're eating like 1,300 calories and you find yourself always craving food, you're not consuming enough calories. And you'll know this because the weight will be dropping extremely quick. If you're dropping 6-7 pounds a week, if you have a lot of weight to lose and you're dropping 6, 7 pounds a week, at first that might, not be crazy, but after like 3, 4 weeks, if you're still dropping 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds a week, if you have a lot of weight to lose, then that's just too fast. If you don't have a ton of weight to lose, then it starts to become too fast around 3, 4 pounds a week, because that means you're in a 2,000 calorie deficit. That is huge. We don't want to lose our muscle, so we got to be eating enough calories. The protein and the exercise and everything is going to help you keep that muscle, but you also you can't overcome just extremely low calories. So take this tip kind of with a grain of salt. If you find that you're just eating too few calories, I guess I should tell you what too few calories looks like. For a woman that's somewhere around 1,400 calories starts to get, where I would just keep an eye out for it. I would look at how fast your progress is. And if you're losing weight too quickly, then I would add in some calories. If you're not losing weight at all, then I promise you're not eating too few calories. For a male, that is going to be somewhere around 1,800, 1,600, starts to get like shockingly low. So again, just consider maybe adding in some more calories based off your progress. The next part of this overcoming the hunger system is going to be stopping mindless eating. So a lot of times, I think I don't know if it's number one, but it's definitely up in the top three. Habits of people that struggle to lose weight or of people who are obese is they eat in front of the TV. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying you can't eat in front of the TV at all, but maybe for a while, you just make sure that your distractions are completely free and you're focused on your meal. Whenever you're a little bit bored while eating, you're much more in tune with how you feel. Should I keep eating or not? All of us have been there where we have a bag of chips and we're halfway through a show and the bag's gone, and we did not mean to do that. We were just distracted. This includes like your phone, like literally try to be actually distraction free. Maybe a conversation is fine or something with your spouse or whatever. But studies show that people eat 15 to 25% more calories when they are consuming content of some sort. And so this is just a natural no-brainer. Try to remove distractions at least for a while, 2-3 months, and just see how it fares for you. Okay, and now the last part of this subpoint of this point, the hunger control system, is to get enough sleep. And I know that sounds like there's no way that is such a powerful tip, but I promise you it is. You probably already are starting to realize this about yourself. You are so much more in tune with good decision making whenever you get enough sleep. Your body, that's whenever it processes a lot of the body fat is going to be at night. That's whenever it heals your muscle. All these things happen. All these positive things that are for body composition purposes happen whenever you get enough sleep. So sleep is very powerful for keeping muscle, keeping your metabolism high, helping with good decision making, and fat burning. Studies show specifically that a lack of sleep boosts ghrelin and reduces leptin. So ghrelin is your hunger hormone and leptin is your fullness hormone. So it basically just flips and you feel more hungry. And that hunger isn't alleviated by consuming calories as fast, at least. And so both of them working together, it just means you're going to overconsume like crazy. I would aim for like 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I saw one time, I'm sure you might have seen this too if you're a YouTube watcher. I saw it somewhere on YouTube that very few % of the population can actually thrive, I should say, off of less than 6 hours of sleep. A lot of people can claim that they sleep 4, 5, 6 hours. They just don't know that they're missing out on a lot of benefits. So just try to sleep 7 hours, see what happens, and see if it helps you. But even if you control hunger and you do all these things, if you are not working out correctly, you very well could be losing muscle or at least not getting the benefit of an increased metabolism that's going to help you lose body fat. If you lose weight only through dieting and cardio, but especially if it's only through dieting, then you will lose muscle mass as well. So that's the problem. The hack here is how little it actually takes in order to maintain your muscle mass with lifting. So you should be doing some sort of resistance training that can be at home. I have 2 styles of exercise for you here, and that's going to help keep your muscle, make sure your metabolism stays high, and make sure that you continue to be able to eat more calories and not have to continue to lower the calories. We've all been there, and that never ends well. Plus, by the end, having more muscle just makes you look better. Instead of looking skinny fat, you look more defined, you look strong, you look healthy. Muscle is like a savings account. The more you have in there, the more interest you accrue. That interest stands for calories. So if you have more muscle on your body, more calories are burned, just like a bank account with more money in it earns more interest. Losing muscle is like spending all of your savings and then running out, and now you get no interest. Now, you don't literally ever stop burning calories completely, but your calorie burn, your interest really, really drops, and now it's hard to get anywhere because your money's all gone. If you have tried to diet or lose weight before, and the weight loss just really slowed down, Weight loss will always slow down a little bit, and my channel is dedicated to helping you through this. And I promise, don't feel defeated. Don't feel anxious about that. You can beat it. And there's ways to make sure that it doesn't slow down nearly as much, if at all, really. And this is one of those ways. So keeping your muscle is going to prevent that weight loss from slowing down, to begin with, or at least it'll stop it a lot. So if you've been there and the weight loss slowed down, you're like, now what? Now I just feel like I'm stuck. This very well could be the answer for you. I mean, there's a lot of these hacks that could be the answer for you, but this one I find is a big one because you got to be lifting correctly as well. So the cool thing here is that you don't have to give too much effort in terms of the time that you spend in the gym. I would say 2 to 3 times per week, 2 to 3 sets per body part. Okay. Now I am reading off my phone here just to remember these specific exercises. If you go to the gym, that is going to help you in terms of like the ability to work hard. So the gym on a lat pull down machine has, 250 pounds or more. It's hard to replicate that at home. So we have to make up for that with a little bit more sets if you're going to be working out at home. But let me give you the gym plan real quick. This is nice and easy. Okay. This is only going to take you like 30 minutes, 2 to 3 sets on the lat pull down, on the machine chest press, on the leg extension, and on the leg curl. That's going to hit your back, your chest, your quads, and your hamstrings. It's the front of the legs, back legs, front of the, body and back of the body. That is good enough. You're going to be keeping all that muscle. Your biceps and your triceps are going to be working during the front of the shoulders and the back of the shoulders are going to be working during the lat pull down and the machine chest press. So you got the arms covered there. This is like a bang for your buck workout. Okay. If you want to do some arm machines and some shoulder presses, things like that, go for it. That's only going to help. Now, if you work out at home, then you have to do more sets in order to make up for the fact that the intensity probably isn't going to be as high. Now, there are hacks and stuff, which I'm not going to get into here so much, but, to make it more intense. But those are kind of like advanced things that I don't think belong in this video. So if you just use squats, you can use a countertop at home for balance if needed. You could use a chair. Doing like 5 sets of squats until it burns so bad you got to stop. That could literally be like 30 reps, 50 reps. Rest and then do that again. Now build into this if 50 reps of squats, if you're not used to doing them, is gonna crush you. With that said, I highly doubt if you're unable to do 50 reps of squats, then 15 is probably where it's really gonna start burning you. Okay, so just go into that burn a little bit. That's gonna be the basics of the squats. Same thing for push-ups. You can do push-ups against the wall. You can do push-ups from the knees on the floor. You can do push-ups on a countertop, something to make it easier if needed, or you can do them on the floor like regular. Do it until you literally can't really do it anymore. Again, ease into this. Maybe the first day you just call it at 10 or something like that. I don't know. Just ease into it. Make sure it doesn't hurt you. Make sure you're not super, super sore the next day. Ease into this. But 2 to 3 times a week, doing these, and you could even probably pull off like 4 times a week, doing those 2 exercises, and then crunches as well. Some sort of crunch. You can do it on the bed if you need to, but it doesn't have to be a sit-up. A sit-up is where you sit all the way up. A crunch is where you kind of curl forward, take off the shoulder blades from the bed or the floor. Do those 3 exercises, keeping as much muscle as possible. With the squats, you're going to be working almost your entire lower body. Your hamstrings during your walks are going to be working, and I think that's going to be good enough to keep your muscle. I do think, I'm not going to lie to you. I think it'd be better for you to go into the gym because you can target those muscles. But I'm just saying, if you're not ready for that, that's okay. You will keep your muscle by doing these squats, push-ups, and crunches 2 to 3 times a week for 5 sets apiece. Go until it burns so bad you got to stop, and then rest, and then do it again. And I think you're going to find that if you implement these hacks, watch this video again if you need to. If you implement these hacks, you are going to have drastic results. If you're not used to this, I am so excited for you. If you're not used to this and you're still here in this video, leave a comment down below. Because this is going to be game changing for you. These, between protein and rucking and exercise and appetite control, this is just going to change your life. I know it will. Do this for a year. You won't recognize yourself. Now, throughout the course of this process, we got to make sure your calories aren't getting too low. If your calories end up getting too low, then you hit a dead end where there's no solution other than lowering your calories even further. You're going to lose muscle, all the opposite of everything that happens in this video. And that's typically what causes a person to end up going back up in weight. So you got to avoid that. So I have a video about that right here that shows you the calorie trap of low calories and how to avoid it.